After Effects Apprentice Lesson 06Comp03, and this is a nesting exercise, and we will be building this one from the ground up. So what we will begin with is our Muybridge sequence, and let's make sure that's set up properly. I'm going to right click on this, or you can control click, and I'm going to interpret footage, go to main, and I'm going to make sure that it's set at 10 frames per second and that we're looping it 10 times. Okay. And now we are going to make a new composition. We can do that by either clicking this button, create new composition, or going up to composition, new composition, or clicking command end. And what we want to do is we will call it Muybridge sequence. And we want it to be 2300 pixels wide, 500 pixels high. We want it to be set at square pixels. We want a frame rate of 10. And we want a duration of 10 seconds. And if for some reason you hit return and you need to call that up again, if you hit Command A, it will call up, Command K will call that all back up so that you can make the changes. Now we will drag our Muybridge sequence in there, and it centers it for us. And what we want to do is we want to distribute that all the way across. So we're going to duplicate this so we have 8 of them. Oops, don't want 9. Okay, and what we want to make sure before we get too deep into this is that we have our align window open, window align. We want to make sure that we have our info window open, window info, and go into view and make sure that snap to guides is open. And we also want to hit command, well, that's fine for, we'll hit command R to open up our rulers. We'll use that in the next column. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to, as quickly as possible, align all of these comps evenly across this composition. So we will start by selecting our top one, clicking it and dragging it all the way to the left. And I'm going to hold down Shift and Command so that it snaps to the top and bottom and to the far left perfectly. And now I'm going to pick the bottom one and drag it out. And I'm going to hold down Shift and Command, and I'm going to drag it to the right. And now either I can click and hold and drag and select all of those layers, or I can hit Command A to select them all. And we want to get into the align function, and we want to press horizontal center distribution, and it will send them all the way across. Okay? I'm going to move that sequence into our new comps. And now we want to open another comp, and we will call this main. And we want it to be NTSC DV. And we will, and we want it to be 6 seconds long. And we will nest our Muybridge sequence in there. So basically, a composition is just a series of layers, and some of those layers can be compositions. We'll set our scale to 50%. And what we want to do is we want to set a vertical ruler that's right here set at 50 pixels. And then we will take our Muybridge, I'm going to select the Muybridge sequence, and I'm going to hold down Command and Shift, and I'm going to first set it to be in that position, and I am going to keyframe that. And then we will go down, I'm going to hit end to get to the end of our comp, and I want it to, I'm going to hold down Shift and Command, and at the end we're going to walk it all the way to here. Okay, so that over the length of our final composition He's walking and it is sliding from left to right. Okay. Now what they want us to do is they want us to put this out of sync, the footsteps. So we will go back to this comp, and what we want to make sure that this in column is open. So make sure columns open and make sure in is checked. And we are just going to offset these randomly, like minus, oops, that did them all. So this one will set at 0, this one will set at -1, this one will set at -4, this one will set at -2, -8, -3, -7, and we'll go with another -1. Okay, and when we get to the end, we don't want our comps to disappear, so I'm going to drag this render bar to here so that there's always an image. Okay. And now when we come back to our main comp, he's walking out of sync, and he's there for the length of the composition. Okay. So the next thing that they want us to do is drag down some additional layers to build our background. They want us to drag down digital web and code rage, and they want us to pick a blending mode that looks good. Let's look at multiply. That looks alright. I'll pick that one. And then they want us to color correct our Muybridge sequence to sort of make it feel like it's a part of this whole world. And so we will go into color correction, and they want us to pick channel mixer, drag it in there. And what they suggest is you set red to 140 and blue to 80, and then it kind of warms it up to look like that world. Let's see what screen looks like, or overlay. It blends it to, I'm going to keep it at normal. Now next they want us to build a vignette, so layer new. Let's go with a adjustment layer. And I'm going to hit return and call that vignette. And I'm going to call up our ellipse and double click it. And that creates our, let me show you the mask. And now let's bring in levels. And let's darken this up. And we want to set our mask to subtract so that it's dark on the outside. And let's feather this mask. Let's look at 150 first. And that looks all right. Okay. Now on top of all of this, they want us to add alien atmosphere. And they want us to set this at vivid light. So that we have something like this. All right. Now we need to add some text that says, walking in our ancestors' footsteps. So layer new text. I'll go all caps, walking in our ancestors' footsteps. I was typing without the aid of seeing the stuff. So I'm going to hit an apostrophe to get our safe title. Let's shrink this up so it fits. And let's correct our spelling. Walking in ancestors' footsteps. Okay. And let's position this down here. I've got this, my paragraph set at left justify. And then that's not a, Helvetica's a good basic font, but let's see if there's something better. You can easily just kind of toggle down. If we select this, we can just hit the down arrow and start dating some fonts. I want to try Sathu. Looked alright to me when I was playing with this earlier. And this is where it came up at. And so I kind of, you notice that we don't have a bold option with Sathu, so I just made this 3. I forced some bold into 3 pixels wide. And you may need to adjust the character spacing to make it fit. And you may want to mess with your height between each line, your leading. Alright, and now let's pick a, they want us to pick a preset animation to create this entrance. So let's go browsing for presets, text. Let's pick animate in. Be nice to pick something that's walking, like shuffle in. Or random shuffle. I'm going to pick shuffle in. So I'll double click that. And we'll hit the letter U. And it started writing it from there. So let's see if that makes sense. I want that to happen a little faster, so I'm going to drag this keyframe down a little bit. Okay, and we will ease that. And I want to blur it as well, so I'm going to add blur. I just want to add it horizontally, so I'm going to break the chain. Let's get into here, see how much blur we can. Why isn't it blurring? That sucks. Do I have to have my my blur option open. There we go. So go ahead and render something that you think looks good.